Who knew I could walk on water? I may need to change my name to Jesus. I guess this is what happens when you dabble in magic. For my next trick, I'll perform a vanishing act. Voila! Okay, enough playing around. Let's get started. Going to start off today with this year's Halloween event. Apparently, these monks are picketing in Varrock Square because Oziak is attempting to buy the monastery. What Oziak needs the monastery for is anyone's guess. Maybe he's looking to turn it into a brothel or something. But these monks are asking for help and want me to go talk to Brother Jared at the monastery and see what I can do to stop him. Who am I to say no? So the HDOS devs have given me access to their unreleased performance build to try out. And I must say, this new client runs as smooth as butter. The frame rate is amazing, and if it performs this well on my machine, I can only imagine how it does on a computer that is much better set up than mine. I'm averaging 60 to 70 frames per second, and that's with my computer recording. If I can manage 40 frames per second with RuneLite, that is asking a lot. Even the base client doesn't perform this well for me. Forget the GPU or HD plugins. So, Brother Jared here is stressing about this sale. So badly he's trashed his office and resorted to drinking. Surprising. He does come up with a great idea though, at least great for him. He has somehow learned that Oziark is afraid of ghosts and goes on to suggest that I take one of his many wine bottles strewn all over the place, climb a damn tree, and blow through the freaking thing to make ghost noises in hopes to scare him off. Extremely skeptical that this will even work, even more skeptical of my tree climbing abilities, I agree to give it a try. What's that? A ghost? Hello, is that a ghost? One ghost, haha, one ghost can't scare me. Surprisingly, it doesn't work. Apparently one ghost isn't enough to scare him away, so I devise a plan to get a second ghost. Brother Jared isn't up to the task, stating that he doesn't feel well from all the stress, or maybe it has something to do with all the wine bottles laying around. He suggests placing an ad in the Varrock Herald. I'll have to talk to Benny in Varrock Square to place an ad, and it'll cost 500,000 coins to do so. Conveniently, Brother Jared just happens to have a coupon for a free ad I could use. Back to Varrock Square I go. I speak to Benny about placing a looking for ghost ad, and say I'm looking for an accomplice for an adventurer who is not afraid of climbing trees and is a bit scary, preferably a ghost. They are to come to the Blue Moon Inn for an interview, and they will be rewarded with a night on the town. I mean, who doesn't enjoy a good night out and drinking and partying? After instantly placing the ad in the paper, printing and delivering it, it's time for me to head to the inn to see if I have any applicants. Seems Iffy is at the inn waiting for me already. I asked for a ghost, I got an old lady. Close enough, I guess. I proceed to fill her in on what's been happening and ask if she's up for the challenge. Moments later, I get my second applicant. Death himself shows up to crash the party. Once everybody but us have run out of the inn fearing their lives, Death proclaims that he has come for the job. His argument is that he is Death. What could be more scary than that? Iffy becomes upset because she thought she had the job already, so I decide to interview the both of them. I ask them what makes them the perfect candidate, and Death says, I am Death, immortal, terrifying, the end of times. That's it. While Iffy goes into a sad monologue about how nobody pays attention to her anymore, she just sits there and knits, looking out the window. She thought this would be the chance to go on one last adventure. After she's done with her sob story, I tell Death to take a hike, and then this painful moment happens. Seems I go into another spiel about what must be done and need to figure out what she can use to make scary noises with. During my long, drawn-out explanation, she comes up with an idea to somehow distract the chef so she can sneak in and find things to make noises with. Of course, her plan involves me ordering a pie and insulting the annoyingly proud chef. This should go well. 10,000 coins for a pumpkin pie? What the Good thing Iffy is there because they're having a holiday promotion for free pies for senior citizens. Iffy shows her senior citizen card and the pie gets delivered. Really, we're sitting at the table. I just guess we may be taking this ghost thing a little too far. So it's time to insult the chef. I decide to say that a stray dog wouldn't even eat this. This really pisses off the chef and he comes storming out ready to send me back to Tutorial Island. The chef comes out and gives me a piece of his mind while Iffy sneaks into the kitchen. She manages to grab a rolling pin and a saucepan while I entertain our wonderful chef, and then she comes back to save the day. After telling me her plan, she heads off to the monastery and tells me to meet her there. Ooh, I enjoy random events. Let's see what I get from the pillory guard. Wow, 40 coins. I meet Iffy back at the monastery, wandering around aimlessly, and it would seem that even though I started this task, Granny here has now taken over. She says we need to climb opposite trees on either side of the path, next to Oziak, and make our ghost sounds. As he gets scared and moves down the path, we do the same. Hopefully by the time he reaches the end, he'll be scared enough to hightail it out of there. Let's see what happens. Well, it would seem after we completed our well laid out plan, it still had no effect. Oziak, while spooked, simply stated 2 ghosts are nothing and that he'll just find some adventurer to take care of them. Sounds like a new quest coming out, hmm? After discussing this new dilemma with Iffy and deciding we probably need to hire a 3rd ghost, right on cue, Death shows up. It would seem Death was enough to scare the crap out of Oziak. All Death is concerned about is where Iffy and I are. Not very bright since we're standing behind the trees next to him, but who am I to judge? Oziak finally gives up with the monastery and walks off. Death decides to have a little fun with some random person walking by who just got his rune simi from Fire Giants. Ha ha ha, noob. And now Death makes another one of his grand exits. While Death takes his time leaving, we talk about how well everything went, especially since Death was actually the one who finished our job. Probably should have hired him as well. Back at the Blue Moon Inn, we party like it's 1999, and the next day I meet Iffy back at her place where she is back to knitting. She thanks me for the adventure and gives me her battered saucepan hat, as well as a pullover she managed to knit overnight. Then Brother Jared comes by and personally thanks us for everything and offers me a ghost in a bottle. Rather interesting gift, but anyway. Halloween event complete, and I get my all-time favorite reward, the headless head. Think I'm going to sport this for the next quest. Sporting my new look, it's time for quest number 17, Sheep Herder. This must be one of my least favorite quests, not because of the content, but because of the mechanics. Herding the sheep, hence the name, is such a pain in the ass. In any case, Counselor Halgrave has the problem. It would seem that there are some plagued sheep roaming around to the north. He fears for the health and safety of the public and needs someone willing to do the dirty work of getting rid of these poor creatures. Since I am all about the murder of poor defenseless creatures here in Gilinar, I quickly jump at the chance. He hands me some poisoned sheep food and tells me I will need to acquire a plague suit as well. Inside the church here, Dr. Orban is all too willing to sell me his only plague suit for 100 coins. Suit equipped, poisoned food at the ready, time to head north. Grab a cattle prod and get to killing some sheep. North of the city you'll find this fenced-in enclosure. Inside is the cattle prod I'll need, and this is also where I must prod the sheep to. Only need one of each color. Seems just killing one of each is enough to cure them all. I don't know the science behind it. The blue sheep are northwest of the enclosure, the yellow ones are to the north, the green guys are slightly northeast, and the red sheep are to the south. After equipping my cattle prod, it's time to get herding. These sheep are a pain in the ass. The easiest way is to spam click the little bastards. The goal is to get them to the gate of the enclosure. They will jump in automatically from there. You can prod them in the direction you are facing as long as it's not blocked by anything, such as an NPC, a tree, whatever. If the sheep are saying ba in uppercase letters, you're doing fine. If they say it with lowercase letters, they will return to the area they came from and you have to start all over again. Blue sheep done. Yellow, green, and finally red. Now time to brutally murder these poor creatures. Here, little sheep, have some yummy food. After they're all dead and gone, I have to take their bones to the incinerator. Once all 4 have been incinerated, I can return to the good counselor knowing that I have served the community well by eliminating 4 plagued sheep. Really, I did it for the quest points and the coins. Let's not forget about the coins. Quest complete. So that's it for now. Time to get set up for the next couple of plague quests while here in Ardoyne. Plague City and Biohazard. We'll finally get to learn what's going on with all this plague stuff and what the hell is the deal with this giant wall to the west. So until next time, go in peace.